Hello and welcome. Two things which are very topical, and I'm always reading about this information, and I get a lot of my research and information from various websites like Dr. McCullough's and Mike Adams, and also whatdoctorsdon'ttellyu.com. And I found that the two greatest cons which are presently still being played in our society today are SSRI drugs, that's selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, and statins. Let me start with the statins. Now, if you understand as much as I do about the body, you will understand that if you have high cholesterol, and the organ that predominantly makes cholesterol is the liver, there's a reason for it. In other words, your body is out of balance, but it's producing more cholesterol so that it can hopefully get into balance. However, if you are carry on living a dysfunctional lifestyle, then obviously your cholesterol will either carry on getting higher or it will lower. Again, it all depends on the kind of lifestyle choices. I find eating a lot of sugars, refined carbohydrates, pasteurization, denatured dead foods, you know, your cakes, your candy, those kind of things, then those things will definitely affect your blood sugar and ultimately will affect your cholesterol. But if you read the research, cholesterol is not the problem. It's actually homocysteine, which is an amino acid. That actually is the problem. So if your doctors were actually going to do their proper homework, they would actually check your homocysteine level. In the research showed that those that had high cholesterol, 50% of them, it wasn't actually bringing them closer to things like coronary heart disease. And then the next con that I believe is that when your doctor will write you a prescription for a statin. Now, what does a statin do? Well, I'll tell you, it's bloody good at lowering your cholesterol levels. So it's a bit like, again, like a band-aid approach. So you take a statin, but in my opinion and my view, any doctor, any physician that prescribes a statin and does not prescribe CoQ10, coenzyme Q10, then they should be struck off the medical register. Because one, they obviously are not up to date with what's going on here and how it affects human beings. So what a statin will do is it will lower your cholesterol. Let's think about it. This thing here is predominantly saturated fat. Lots of cholesterol in there. And so if it's true about the research that I've read, then firstly it can lead to Alzheimer's disease, and also, because it will affect, I'll go through the blood-brain barrier, it also affects your muscles. And the interesting recent research clearly shows is that it will actually damage your muscles, then they will not be able to repair. So every reaction, every chemical reaction in your body pretty much involves cholesterol. It's actually a good friend. It's a good thing to have cholesterol. And then you've got all the BS, the bullshit about buying hydrogenated margarines. Again, look at the structure. There's one cell difference between that and plastic. But, or even perhaps butters. I mean, butter obviously natural, make sure it's organic. So please don't do that. So statins, I think I've said enough on that. Again, don't believe anything I'm saying. Go on to mercola.com, M-E-R-C-O-L-A, and then type in statin and see what comes up. And there's copious amounts of research. The other thing was SSRI drugs, the selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. Now those are another biggest con, because again, it's like, well, what will be the reason for somebody requiring some drug like Prozac? And it's because they're not behaving normally. Well, what's the reason for that? Why are they not behaving normally? And it could be because their neurotransmitters aren't firing properly. In other words, the serotonin, dopamine, epinephrine, norepinephrine, GABA glutamate levels. And there are others, but those are just some of the ones that I deal with when I, as a practitioner working with neurogistics.com. So understand that there's a reason why the body behaves the way it does. And then just prescribing a drug to treat a symptom at best is not going to serve you or those around you. Just like a band-aid approach. I mean, if I cut myself, don't get me wrong, I want to put a plaster on it because I might want to stop an infection going on. But what I want to do is remove myself from the thing that cut me. But that's not how our disease management system works. So take control of your health and understand that if you are on these drugs, then find a health practitioner or ask some other smart questions with your doctor to finally come off them. Because the other thing which really upsets me is the fact that they're so addictive, those kind of drugs. I mean, once you've been on things like SSRI drugs, your Prozac, for 6 months or long, they really are challenging to get people to change. And one of the things I do with that is working with amino acids, because usually I find a lot of people who have mood problems, it's because they're not eating enough protein. I mean good protein. I mean meats. And a lot of vegetarians and vegans especially, because they haven't got the right neurotransmitters, because obviously in meat there's a thing called L-tryptophan, and that converts quite easily into 5-HTP, which converts into serotonin, and serotonin is a feel-good factor. So understand that there's a reason why your body's communicating to you the way it is. And taking a statin or an SSRI drug, a statin obviously for high cholesterol and an SSRI drug because you're feeling a bit depressed, is not going to serve you. One of the things you could start to do is up your good protein. You could eat some good meats, some good nuts and seeds, and sprout them. Soak them in water between 8 and 12 hours, and those will release the phytates, the mineral blockers. So there's a good start. There's obviously many more. But I'm hopefully from this recording you've got something useful. Thank you very much for listening. And I wish you a beautiful, gorgeous, loving day. My name's Magnus Mulliner, and bye for now.